The controversial ECRL project may not be completely dead in the water, according to reports. Tun Daim Zainuddin was quoted as saying that the ECRL may continue as Malaysia is still in negotiations with China over the project. He added that both parties hope to conclude discussions quickly. According to Singapore Straits Times, Malaysia may be looking for a new contractor after terminating the original contract awarded to China Communications Construction Company. Quoting a source, Straits Times reports that the Pakatan Harapan government is seeking to halve the estimated project cost of 81 billion ringgit to 40 billion ringgit. CCCC did not respond to a request for comment. Daim had been appointed by PM Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad as a special envoy to meet China's Premier Li Keqiang and other officials in Beijing last year. Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng is rebutting claims that the record 137 billion ringgit in tax collection last year was solely due to higher oil prices. He adds that a significant chunk was contributed by other sources. Lim explains that the oil prices accounted for about 60% of the increase, while the balance came from other factors. Tax collection increased from 123.3 billion ringgit in 2017 to 137 billion ringgit in 2018. Lim was commenting on claims that tax collection was propped up by better oil prices and that the higher collection was based on tax paid in 2017, reflecting the efforts of the previous regime. He also points out that the tax system was changed 2 decades ago and tax payments are no longer based on the previous year's assessment. Prestariang has confirmed the termination of the National Immigration Control Project, or SKIN, takes effect from today. In a statement, the company reiterated that it was not in default of the concession agreement, but that it respects the government's decision to exercise its right to terminate the concession. Prestariang does not intend to challenge the termination. The company is also entitled to compensation in accordance with the formula set out in the concession agreement and is still in discussion with the government as to the amount. To recap, last year the Pakatan Harapan government had decided to scrap the 3.5 billion ringgit SKIN project as it aims to get its finances in order. The news caused Prestariang's share price to drop as much as 35%. Then, on January 16, investor Bramal Vesudevan ceased to be a substantial shareholder in Prestariang when he reduced his stake from 6.22% to 1.66%. Former Goldman Sachs banker Roger Eng has filed an appeal at the High Court against an earlier decision by the Sessions Court which rejected his bail application. Deputy Public Prosecutor Mahathir Mohamad Khairuddin says Eng had filed the High Court appeal on January 8th. He adds that the High Court has yet to arrive on a mentioned date for the decision on the appeal. Concurrently, Eng is also asking the Malaysian Prison Department to have adequate access to his US attorney, pending a decision by the court on his extradition to the US due to 1MDB linked charges. Eng's defense lawyer Datuk Tan Hock Chan says Eng is seeking the US lawyer's help to assist him with the affidavit reply. In response, Mahathir says the prison department is open to Eng's request for access to his US lawyer, provided certain conditions are met. Muhibah Engineering says it is currently assessing the financial and operational impacts following the termination of a 584.4 million ringgit contract by the Bintulu Port Authority. In a BOS filing, Muhibah's 51% owned unit, Muhibah Vikana JV, says it is currently compiling the relevant claims as a result of this termination for discussion with the authority. According to Muhibah, the JV is of the view that the B Port Authority will grant fair compensation to the JV and the termination should not have an adverse impact on the JV and the company. To recap, on January 17th, Muhibah announced that the B Port Authority had cancelled the contract to build a supply-based wharf at the second harbour basin of the port in Sarawak. Muhibah's share price ended the day 0.71% down at RM2.78.